Hello everyone. Now today I'm going to be filming my first video in a series of videos on DC and going forward what they should do. Now my first video today is going to be about the Injustice League and Justice League 2. Now this does contain spoilers for Justice League, and so just warning you, and the end credit scene for Justice League. So yeah, let's begin. So the end credit scene of Justice League with Lex Luthor and Deathstroke left a lot of questions, including the Injustice League, what's going to happen with them. So I want to start with who I think should be in the Injustice League. Okay, now I had a huge list, but I've narrowed it down to people who I think are worth talking about, and we're going to talk about them in alphabetical order. So starting with Atrocitus. Atrocitus is the Red Lantern. Red Lantern is of course the Rage Lantern. He's a giant CGI creature, or would be a CGI creature. And I think since DC likes CGI creatures, maybe they should use Atrocitus as the lantern that will introduce Green Lantern to the Justice League. It'd also stay away from Sinestro, because Sinestro still has that taste, I feel, of the Green Lantern movie. Same with when I talk about Green Lantern, how we can stay away from that. So next is Anthony Woodward. Okay, Anthony Woodward is a steel worker who caused a riot at a steel plant after he assaulted a female employee. Angry coworkers threw him into a vat of molten steel. And then he was brought to Star Labs and became kind of like, he turned into human metal somehow. So he has incredible resistance from harm, grants him superhuman strength. So he would be an interesting character. He's a very cyborg-esque villain. So if they keep Cyborg for Justice League 2, I think he'd be a good villain to add to the Injustice League. He's also a Flash villain. Next is Black Manta. Black Manta is going to be in the Aquaman movie directed by James Wan. Black Manta is the most notable Aquaman villain, I feel, and I think he would be a great addition to add to the Injustice League. Black Adam is set to have his own movie. He's also a Shazam villain. So assuming they have Shazam in the Justice League 2 movie, who I'll talk about later more deep in depth, Black Adam would be a great addition and a very likely addition. Now, personally, I don't think he should be the Shazam villain that represents the Shazam villain of the Injustice League. I think they shouldn't put him in the Injustice League at all. But it's likely they will. Next is Cheshire. So of course she is a deadly international terrorist, normally known as an enemy of the Teen Titans, one of the most deadly assassins in the DC universe. She's had a whole bunch of romantic relationships, and she would be a great addition to the Injustice League, maybe to counteract Wonder Woman. But I think this next character will be a bit more of a Wonder Woman-esque villain. Circe is, of course, someone who would add a bit of magic, not enchantress magic, but like more legitimate magic. Circe, of course, does magic and is a common Wonder Woman villain. She would be great to be in the Injustice League, I feel. And so yeah. And then there's Cyborg Girl. She, of course, she's in a sense the female version of Cyborg, and would be another Cyborg villain who could be added to the Injustice League. She's someone who, it would also be black female representation, which is not something you see very often in movies, and I think not only would DC have done the first female superhero movie, but also have done the first black female superhero movie, and I think that's something Marvel could aspire to. which would be another possible way to keep this Justice League 2 from doing bad critic-wise if they have a black female superhero. Next is Cheetah. Barbara Minerva, aka Cheetah, is an archaeologist who's cursed by a cheetah and becomes the cheetah. It would be good if she has she's a very good friend of Gal Gadot's Wonder Woman, or Diana Prince, as an archaeologist, and then becomes the worst enemy of Wonder Woman, Cheetah. And I think if they explore her in Wonder Woman 2, maybe in Justice League, and in Justice League, she could be a major playing factor in their league. Now, if they use Circe and maybe even Cheshire, maybe they should look whether or not they want to use Cheetah. So my preference would be Cheetah, actually. But, next is Deathstroke. We know Deathstroke's going to be in the Injustice League because of the end credit scene, or post-credit scene of Justice League. Deathstroke is an assassin. His name's Slade Wilson. He's basically Deadpool, who's Wade Wilson, except much more serious. He also doesn't have an eye. He does have a healing factor, though. Next is Deadshot. Will Smith's Deadshot was very, loved in Suicide Squad, and I think putting Deadshot in would be star power and a great character who they want to explore more. It would be a great way to explore him if he had to go head-to-head with characters like Superman. Who knows what kryptonite bullets could do to Superman? And I guess he'd be the best person to figure that one out. Next is Dr. Savannah, who was the character I was referring to when I was talking about Black Adam, and I think he would be a good representation on the Injustice League, assuming they don't kill him off in the Shazam movie. I think he is someone who, so far as the rumored villain of the Shazam movie, he's a very mad scientist type character. You can check out my video on Mark Strong as Dr. Savannah and my opinion on that. But I think it'll be a good Shazam villain, and he won't be as overpowered in a sense as Black Adam and The Rock. I just don't think he's a very good idea to put in a team factor, especially in a movie as big as Justice League. Next would be Dr. Light. Now, Dr. Light, I'm actually not going to say a lot about, because he's kind of a joke up until I made him a rapist, but I think that Dr. Light is just an idea that I'm throwing out there, because he's just kind of like a character who you could play around with, maybe change his origin a little bit. But other than that, I just wanted to throw the name out there. Dr. Psycho, another type character who I don't think they'll put in there, but it's a possibility because Dr. Psycho kind of just controls people with his mind. He controls female heroes specifically, and so he's kind of got that type of tendency. But there's another idea to throw out there. Now, the next one is someone who I'm going to talk about a bit more, is Felix Faust. Okay, now Felix Faust is a sorcerer in a sense. Assuming they add Constantine or Zatanna to the roster of Justice League for Justice League 2, which I'll talk more about in my Justice League part of this video. I think Felix Faust being a sorcerer and a common villain of Constantine and Zatanna would be a great addition to the Injustice League to counteract that magic element. Next is going to be the Harley Quinn. Harley Quinn obviously was beloved in Suicide Squad, and making another cameo or lengthened character appearance in Justice League 2 would be fans would love, and I think adding another female hero to that roster would be great. Margot Robbie was great as Harley Quinn, and I think it would be a great way to put her in and upscale her more. Now, of course, with Harley Quinn, you have to have the Joker, so I'd also put the Joker in there. I think the Joker is someone who is Although not liked by Jared Leto, I think he should be played as Jared Leto. I think they can fix him. And when I talk about the creative teams that should stay and who should go, I'll talk more about that. Or when I talk about actors, I'll talk more about the Joker. But I think they should keep the Joker in the Injustice League. Next is Killer Croc. Now, people didn't like him in Suicide Squad, but even if they were to reimagine him a little bit, make him a bit more of a CGI creature, rather than the lot of makeup and prosthetic human they did in Suicide Squad, I think he could work. He would be able to fight people like Superman, and I think it would be something to keep in mind. And Batman, obviously. Next, I'm going to be talking about Lex Luthor, who we also know is in Injustice League, and also probably the leader. He was in the end credit scene of Justice League and with Deathstroke, and I think whether Jesse Eisenberg plays him or not will be in another video, but I think Lex Luthor, the character, should be in the movie Injustice League 2 when they do the Injustice League. Metallo. Now, Metallo is a character who's a Superman villain. He's appeared on the CW, which could end up with problems, but I think Metallo would be a good Superman villain, and just kind of like a heavy hitter when it comes to the DC EU and Injustice and the Injustice League. I think that Metallo is a character you should look into, or DC should look into when it comes to making this team. Poison Ivy / Catwoman. Now, the reason I put them together was because Poison Ivy and Catwoman, assuming this the Gotham City Sirens movie that they've said that they've wanted to do actually ends up happening, I think that Poison Ivy and Catwoman would be good characters to add. Maybe one of them, not both of them, especially if you have Cheetah. I think with Harley Quinn, I think the trio could be a wonderful addition, but then maybe wouldn't add Cheetah. So you would have to kind of look at that. Next would be Sinestro. Now, I'm only talking about Sinestro. I don't think you should add him to this movie, because I think I'm just mentioning him because he's someone who they probably will add if they want to introduce a Lantern. I think Sinestro is still too stained from the the Green Lantern movie, which was not very well taken in, and especially when Mark Strong comes in as Dr. Savannah, then you wouldn't want a Sinestro, especially considering he was the last Sinestro in the Green Lantern movie. Next, Solomon Grundy. He's a character who's strong, who could be, assuming they bring in Zatanna or Constantine, he would be a great villain to add in. He's also a Batman villain. He's kind of got a whole bunch of others, like heroes he can fight. He'll be a great heavy hitter. He was on the animated Super Friends cartoon in the Legion of Doom, and so I think he would be a great choice. Next is Star Sapphire. Star Sapphire is the Pink Lantern, and this one would, of course, the Star Sapphire that I would want added in would be Carol Ferris, former love interest of Hal Jordan, or a love interest of Hal Jordan. I think that if they fought each other, that would be cool. By assuming there is one reason when I talk about Green Lantern why I don't think they should use Star Sapphire, mostly because I don't want Hal Jordan as Green Lantern. Now, I'll talk about that more later, but I'm just throwing that name out. Next is Toyman. Toyman is, of course, someone who, well, more or less, kind of is just, he's been in Supergirl already, and I don't think they're going to put him in, but he's an interesting character. He's also on the Super Friends animated cartoon, and I think I just thought we should talk about him a little bit. Next is the one another one that has 2 in 1, Zoom / Reverse Flash. Now, I don't think they should use Reverse Flash because they've already used him on the Flash so much. I think Zoom is a fresher choice for a speedster that can kind of fight Flash. Now I'm going to quickly mention the Mirror Master because I don't remember exactly, but I don't think they've used him on the CW yet. So it would be really interesting to see either the Mirror Master or Zoom/Reverse Flash. I would prefer Reverse Flash. Got that actor from the CW, from Legends, who played him. I'm not Harrison Wells, but Reverse Flash, Eobard Thawne. And I think he would be a great addition to the team. Now that I've talked about them, I'm going to talk about the Justice League for Justice League 2. Now, of course, the previous members of the Justice League include Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, Flash, Cyborg, and Aquaman. I think they should change some of the members. So the members that I think from the original Justice League that should be kept are Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, and Flash. Now, I'm not saying that. I'm also saying they should be kept with the same actors. I like these actors. But I think that Aquaman and Cyborg, I think Aquaman, I'm going to talk about him later, but there's a character I think that should replace Aquaman. That's a character which I'm going to talk about later. I think that the members that should be added are Green Lantern, John Stewart Green Lantern though, not Hal Jordan because of the Hal Jordan situation. I think John Stewart also add a black character to the Justice League, and I think, again, like my same thing for Cybergirl, I think that John Stewart would be a great way to kind of pressure critics into doing, like, be happy with the DCU and giving it a good score. I think Shazam will probably be added whether we want to or not. Zatanna or Constantine. I think Constantine is a less likely choice, or less likely option, sorry. It'd probably be Zatanna, but that's why I said add someone in like Solomon Grundy, add someone in like Felix Faust, because those are villains that are notable, especially if you want to do Justice League Dark later on, which they do want to do. Now, the character I wanted to replace Aquaman is, of course, Mera. Mera, of course, clearly Amber Heard, although not my favorite actor. She is an actor that is, I think, much more of a character. And I think we'll see this more in Aquaman. I think if Jason Momoa can actually turn his performance around rather than being like Jason Momoa is a bit more like Aquaman, I think, who knows, maybe seeing him return in Justice League 2 won't be that bad of a thing. Next, other characters who I really don't think will be added in, but I'm willing to talk about, and who I want to add in, is Blue Beetle. Blue Beetle because Blue Beetle. Maybe Ted Kord, if you want to do like an older Blue Beetle. Dr. Fate. So I think like that he would be a good character to add in. Deadman. He's a Justice League Dark character. Swamp Thing. Another Justice League Dark character, kind of. He's a very kind of like Man-Thing in the Marvel cinematic, well, Marvel, not cinematic because he's not cinematic yet, but in the Marvel universe. He controls like the dead. He was also featured in the Injustice 2 video game. Booster Gold, kind of like Flash, so I'm not sure. Wally West. Wally West, I guess, kind of is Barry Allen right now, so maybe introducing Wally West won't be a good idea, unless you're going to replace Barry Allen with Wally West. And maybe in Flashpoint you could change some things, and I'll talk about that later in another video. Elongated Man, aka Plastic Man, not really aka, but kind of like a Mr. Fantastic of the DC universe. He would be stretchy, so that would be good. And the Phantom Stranger, who's a very more unknown character, kind of like a mystical character. He's a bit kind of like Doctor Strange, I think, if you want to draw a parallel to the MCU. I don't think he will be added in. I don't think many people want him, but he's just another character I'm going to throw out there. So that's my picks for Justice League 2 and the Injustice League, which characters they should choose from. Let me know your opinions in the comments. Like, comment, subscribe, share, follow us on social media. Email us questions, tweet us questions. We'll make videos to answer them. And of course, see you next time.